Mike, 27F, boyfriend, 33M, missed the mark with my birthday present. Again. He bought me a spa voucher for the third time. I hate massages. I'm honestly so confused about how to react to this. I feel like an ungrateful person, however, I have communicated this on multiple occasions. I ended up crying to my friend for a while, because he either doesn't know me at all or deliberately chooses not to pay attention. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure this is a perfect gift for someone else, just not me. We've been together for 5 years. He bought me a spa voucher for the first birthday we spent together. I explained then that I have a very hard time relaxing and I don't enjoy spa days alone. Plus, the place he got it at gave me an infection when a friend gifted me a day there in the past. I also mentioned that it's not a very personable gift and that's something I get for a friend or a family member, not for my significant other, and would appreciate something more personal. He couldn't have known any of that, so I just moved past it. He bought me another spa voucher at the same place the following year for my birthday. This time for me and him. We fought about it. He admitted it's something he wanted. However, I thought I had made it very clear that I'm not a spa person and not the biggest fan of massages. Again, I mentioned I'd appreciate something more personable, that I wouldn't buy for myself. The following 2 years, one of the presents was a trip I suggested and helped him plan. First time he had planned a trip for us, so he needed a lot of help, but he paid for. I was really appreciative, and another year was a set of books both of us really wanted. It was the cheaper version, one of which fell apart after a month. However, I was so excited about them, because he put some real thought behind it, plus a reference necklace from the books, which is beautiful. My birthday was a few days ago and I see a forwarded email from him. I excitedly open it in front of him thinking it's one of the experiences I have mentioned to him I'd love for my birthday, and I see a spa voucher. At first I think he must be making a joke because of the fights we've had in the past, but it wasn't. The price was even on the email. Once it sunk in, I just wanted to cry, which was obvious on my face, and he asked what's wrong. I thanked him and said I appreciate the gesture, however, I'm not entirely sure how to react. He looked like a hurt puppy and it broke my heart. I felt so ungrateful. He then proceeded to tell me it's at a beautiful spa. It really is. Luckily a different one, and it has a 3-course lunch and a massage included. He'll drop me off in the morning and pick me up at the end of the day. And if anyone deserves it, it's me. I genuinely appreciate all of that so much. He had showed it to me before and I said it's beautiful and it'd be great to go for a romantic weekend there together. Not alone. I spent 95% of my time home alone, IWFH, which he knows. I do not want to spend another day alone doing something I don't enjoy that much. We have another lunch thing planned for my birthday next month, which he loved the idea of, but we're splitting the cost for that and I've organized it. I feel like I'm being ungrateful, because the spa is a nice gesture and it's better than what some people would get from there, but when it comes to presents from him over the years, quite a few have missed the mark. Gold-plated jewelry, when I have only ever worn silver our entire relationship, and quite a few other examples. There was one amazing present he bought me for Christmas that was super personal, but excessively expensive, and we had a talk where I tried to reassure him that I don't need these grandiose gestures and he shouldn't feel the need to buy me something so expensive. I genuinely thought we had moved past this and he knew me well. I'm just at a loss at how to react here. I try to plan his presents months in advance and always try to make him feel special, seen, heard, loved. I'll just buy him a spa day for his next birthday as that's obviously what he wants, but how do I address this without being ungrateful? Or I just accept that's how things will be. He admitted it's something he wanted. At this point you should have started giving him tampons for his birthday. Or broken up with him. But now? He is years into a relationship and can't. Listen, seriously? I'd probably hate him at this point and dump him. He won't listen to you, and he doesn't care about what you want. Also, WTF, he is making you split the cost for a birthday lunch that you had to organize for yourself? He sucks. When you were 22 and he was 28, so he got with you to mold you into the woman he wanted. Women who likes the gifts he gives, turns on puppy eyes to ensure, expects you to cook and take care of him. Babe, run. He doesn't love you, he wants you to fit a mold of his creation. Does he like spa? All your birthday presents weren't really for you. The spa that he actually wanted, then the vacation for you both that you actually planned, the books for you both, it is nothing that is just for you. So does he buy you present that he would buy himself, or for both of you, so also for himself? That he also made this as a forwarded mail with the price, lowest effort possible. Not even a bot card, and he wrote in it what you get. Put a little work in it. Save the spa day and gift it back to him on his birthday. Also flat out tell him not to ever buy you another spa day. He's deliberately giving you things he wants, hoping you'll give it back because you don't like it. Mike, M26, wife, F26, has been cheating on me for weeks and I just read the messages. New account to keep anonymous. As the title states, my wife has been cheating on me with a classmate for weeks and I just found out by reading the messages. TLDR, I'm certain I want to split but don't know what to do from here. This is stream of consciousness on my phone. I just read this, talk to her, and am now typing. Long one below. My wife and I recently went through a few major life changes, one of which is getting married. She has been adamant about a career move for years that I've supported, which requires she goes back to school for 3 years. She recently applied and got into a school out of state, and we decided to move states, move in together, and get married within months. I should have known this was the wrong move, but I had rose-tinted glasses. More about this later. There were a few signs this was coming, but honestly I trusted my partner 100% and reassured myself there was no way she would cheat. Throughout our relationship we have had a spotty sexual relationship. At times, we both are wanting it multiple times a day, other times she doesn't want it for months. The recent years, she has been not wanting it for months. Maybe once or twice a month at our good points. A few weeks ago she starts a new medication for depression and all of a sudden she's asking for sex multiple times a day and I can't keep up. It seems great, but she's even getting to the point where she gives me the cold shoulder for turning her down a few times. I just couldn't go for round 2 right after. She would give me a bad attitude, but after she masturbated she would be nice again. Right about the time this started, I see a name pop up on her phone that I didn't recognize, and she said she had been talking to a new classmate about school. This is a difficult program and I'm supportive of my partner having male friends. I just want her supported through school, so I didn't think anything of it. I did not though. There were a few times it seemed like she hid her phone quick, or played it off like she wasn't texting someone. She would even have difficulty navigating what a conversation was about when she'd tell me about something he said, because I later find out what they were really saying. Fast forward 2 weeks and we take a trip home for a family event. I'm having the time of my life visiting family, but she blows up the second night saying she wants to annul the marriage and do it again the right way. I thought she was saying she wanted to redo a proper wedding, which is something I already thought we agreed to do once she was out of school. The argument dies down and honestly I believed we had handled it and communicated an issue pretty well. She voiced a major concern of hers. I heard it, I responded with how I felt and she conceded that she understood how I felt. It felt positive in the end. At the end of the trip, I think we're all better, but I notice she's nuzzled in her phone a lot. She even hides it from me multiple times. I chalk it up to her just readjusting at the moment I look over, but in the back of my mind I feel weird. At this point I decide I should peek a few times to see what she's doing. Sometimes she's studying, but other times I notice that name again. She's texting that classmate. I don't want to think much of it, but she gets pretty defensive of her phone screen. We have a long travel day, ended really late, and when we get back to the room we both start unpacking. Typically I'm one to just prep for the next day and get to bed when it's as late as it is and there's as much to unpack as we had, but I keep unpacking with her. At one point she takes her bag to our room and I go to get a glass of water. I notice her phone on the counter while getting water. I walk to our room, and halfway there the thought pops up that I could just check to see what she messaged real quick, but I tell myself I shouldn't and that I'm being paranoid. I go to set down my water by our bed and she's hardly unpacked. I go to use the bathroom and while walking back my insecurity gets the best of me and I grab her phone. We of course share passwords out of convenience. What I saw shocked me. I opened her phone, saw the guy was the third chat down on her messages, and figured she'd hardly messaged him. The chat peek seems like an innocuous message, but I decide to open it anyway. I scroll up a hair and it starts seeming suspect. I notice a message saying, "Now I have to go back to thinking about someone else," and my ears turn red. I lock the bathroom door and sit down to read more. I scroll for probably 20 minutes to find a whole bunch of proof she cheated. The first thing I scroll by is her planning to have sex with him while I'm at work the next day. Immediately above is her telling him about the short business trip I just found out about, hinting they could have sex that day too. I keep scrolling and next are naked photographs of her. One more from behind, since you didn't see that. I blacked out for about 10 seconds. It was all I could do to hold back from screaming. At this moment I realized we were completely done and there was no chance to stay together. I kept reading and it only reassured me. She talked shit about me. She said she was struggling to get interested in sex with me. She flirted with him and called him cute. But almost worse than all of that, she talked shit about our marriage. She said she felt like she rushed into getting married to me and that I couldn't be who she wanted. She said she didn't know what to do, and noted that I'm covering all of out expenses right now. They joked she'd be dating as a divorcee. I felt disgusted, humiliated, lied to. I thought we were excited to build a life together? Now I'm just the guy she's stuck with. Anyway, as I'm attempting to read through all of this, she yells for me to help her find her phone and activates Find My. After a few tries it locks the phone and I'm stuck with it in my hand, as she's outside the bathroom door suspicious of why the noise was coming from in there. I open the door and realize I just need to confront her there. I couldn't possibly come up with an excuse, nor would I want to stay with her knowing she's about to fuck her classmate while I work. So I tell her I know what's going on and she asks, "What do you mean?" a few times before sheepishly standing there silently. I ask her what's going on and she doesn't respond. I explain everything I read and tell her to explain. She offers no excuse and tries to apologize. I really got angry and said I was disgusted by her and couldn't possibly reconcile. She goes to get her phone which I left on the bathroom counter and I go to get my water. She tries to explain her side of why she felt we weren't working, but gives up and goes to study. After a little longer she comes out and lays it all out. I found out she slept with someone else after we broke up a few years ago. I bring it up because she was adamant that she didn't and she kept asking me if I had, which I of course had not. It was a friend she had told me she wasn't interested in. She explained it had only just been for the last few weeks, which is all the evidence I could find. She said I've been distant and short recently and that even before we moved I haven't been the partner she needs. She brings up a few valid shortcomings that I conceded, but I was struggling and had no support of my own I could talk to about it, and frankly my exhaustion after work leading to me doing the bare minimum chores plus occasionally doing things together is not an excuse to cheat. It's a reason to ask if your partner is okay and to try to help. I should have known she wasn't going to do that a long time ago though. My mistake. Anyway, she has an exam tomorrow. I told her to study and go to the exam. I'm not going to sleep tonight so I let her go to bed. My friend says she should get a hotel but I don't want to see her on the street even after all she's done. I told her absolutely no bringing anybody here ever, that the next person she brings in will be a moving company. I'm honestly in shock. I'm a pretty level dude, I don't react much and try to keep a calm demeanor. She asked if I'd hurt her, which of course not, but it made me sad she'd think that. I think it was the straight face. I couldn't bring myself to cry. I just can't believe it still. I kept telling myself I was paranoid. I hate that new age relationships have so much distrust and it hurt me that I even felt like I should read her messages. But I guess I'm glad I did so I can't judge others. I guess if there's anything I can ask, what would you guys do going forward? Obviously this one's pretty bad. I don't see myself ever forgiving her. I mean some of the thinfists she said about me to that guy are seared in my brain right along her planning a sex date. What does it take to get divorced? Am I screwing myself because I'm the sole provider? I really can't afford to pay 2 rents here, one is already too much. I'd hope in the case of adultery they'd favor the non-cheater. Oh, and no kids. Thank fuck for that. Lol. The rushed marriage. We've had a rocky relationship, half of which was long distance. We have only been within an hour drive of each other the past year, part of which was spent trying to plan this move and our future together, including me getting a job that supports VHCOL in the current market, which was super tough. As far as I knew, we both knew we wanted to be together long term, so we stuck through some difficult times in hopes of marrying soon. To skip details, I rushed an engagement due to schedule pressure and we didn't do the whole process the way either of us wanted. We moved and got married at a drive-up service. At the time I thought it was a sweet experience where we put a middle finger to the conventional track, confessed our deep love and committed our lives to one another. I see now I was being naive and taken advantage of. Frankly, I saw the evidence we weren't working well and I ignored it. I should have just been a man and ended it earlier, but I felt guilt and I truly loved her. You're beating yourself up and she wronged you. You're a good guy, she's a user, a manipulator, a cheater, and a serial liar with a long wandering eye. Your marriage is over. You need to stop thinking like a nice guy and get a good lawyer to protect as much of your assets as possible, because she will attempt to get as much as possible. Because she's a user. Dude, kick her the fuck out. Now, she using you, disrespecting you in the cruelest way possible, and doesn't even feel the least bit bad about it. She has an exam? Oh, poor her. S face with rolling eyes sounds like her problem. If she's not even unpacked, perfect. GTFO. ETA. Sorry I blew up. Just so disgusted at the audacity. If you've only been married for a very short time, it's unlikely, although not impossible, that alimony will be awarded. So just seek out an attorney and get the ball rolling. Firstly, really sorry this is happening to you. In terms of what to do, honestly, I can see past divorce. What you describe is a relationship with a degree of dysfunction, which then becomes a marriage, with that same degree of dysfunction. And then, on her part, infidelity and dishonesty to a considerable degree. Her compulsive approach towards sex also indicates that there may be other complicating factors. The saving grace, as painful as all this is, now presents an opportunity to make a quick and clean break. If you hang around, prevaricate, it's only likely to get more complicated and messy. So I get legal advice ASAP and I'd move forward decisively and at pace, because the two of you living together is not a sustainable or healthy arrangement. See what you can do to give it annulment, but if you can't, then a divorce is your option. You can't stay with a liar and a cheater, and someone who is so disrespectful to you. Very minimal if any contact during this process, and once the divorce or annulment is complete, absolutely no con at the asshole CT. Your wife is a train wreck and you don't want to be around when she crashes. Her decision, her life and her problem, so don't make it yours no matter what. Tell her to call the guy and tell him she's coming over. She lives with him now. Do I, 23F, go on a family vacation my fiancé, 25M, isn't allowed on? Every year I go on a family mountain trip with my mom's extended family, mom's siblings and their kids. We have had a rule that only married couples are allowed to go on the trip. My fiancé and I are getting married in 4 months, and for the past 3 years he has not been allowed on the trip. He has felt a little slighted as the only reason for him not being allowed on the trip was, "That's just how it is." And his family has never prohibited me from going on a trip, but he has understood the only married couples rule. Keep in mind, adding new people onto the trip is not an issue of space or finances at all. Literally only this rule keeps SOs from coming. Because we have been together for nearly 4 years and are getting married so soon, we both thought it would make sense for him to finally be allowed on the trip. So, I asked my mom if she could ask her siblings if he can come. She acted like I was crazy for asking that and got offended. I responded by saying that, at this point in our relationship, not having my fiancé come offends both of us a bit, considering the fact we are so close to being married, and that is the only thing keeping him from coming on the trip, nothing else. Any other extended family outing, trip, he is always welcome and encouraged to join, and he has joined my family on numerous vacations in the past. I asked her what the reasoning for this rule is, as we are both confused and a bit hurt by her insistence in him not coming, and she flipped out. She stopped reading my texts and was so upset she had my dad call me. When my dad called, he explained that only reason the married couples only rule exists is because I have a cousin who tries to bring a new girl on the trip every year, so they put in the rule to prevent him from doing that. Before he tried to do that, my aunt, much younger than my mom and her siblings, brought her boyfriend, now husband, on the trip with no problem. When I heard this, I asked why we couldn't change the rule to fiancés and married couples then. This would prevent 2-month GFS and BFS from coming on the trip but allow me and my cousin. She is also engaged and wanted to bring her, so, to bring our fiancés since we are both getting married soon. The only response my mom had was she didn't want to ask her siblings as that would mess things up and cause drama. How could simply asking a why question cause that much drama? It would be one thing if she asked her siblings if they could change the rule and they decided against it, but she won't even ask, even though it is important to me. When I try to express our feelings about the situation to her, she just blows up and makes me feel like I am being ridiculous and causing unnecessary family drama. I have expressed to her something that matters to me and my fiancé, seeking to foster a conversation and just wanting to ask the family if this rule can be changed, and I was met with a volatile emotional response. I know she can't control what her family will do, but is it too much for her to ask when it matters to us? When it is something that feels purposefully exclusionary for no real rhyme or reason. At this point, I am contemplating not going on the trip at all. I would only be able to go Friday, Sunday anyways due to work, but the way my mom has handled this whole situation is off-putting. However, I know if I don't go, this will cause her to go into another emotional spiral, as she will think I am picking my fiancé over her due to a situation that doesn't matter. There is one time in the past I couldn't make the trip due to a production I was part of, and she got quite angry at me over it, so I can only imagine how she would respond now. She has also been particularly defensive when it has come to situations where I tried to defend my fiancé, prioritize him in similar situations. I am afraid of the drama this could lead to since the wedding is so soon, and the last thing I want to add to the plate is a mother who is angry at my fiancé and I's relationship. I would love to sit down with her and have a conversation with her about why I feel the way I feel, but she just has emotional breakdowns. If I made the decision not to go, I would have to accept that she will be angry with me, and nothing I can do or say will change the narrative she has in her head about the situation, regardless of its accuracy. My fiancé said he would be a bit offended if I went on the trip without him after all of this, since my mom really didn't put in any effort to try and include him on the trip. But I'm not sure that is fair to me either. There is a lot of other issues that have happened with my mom regarding her treatment of me and my fiancé, which I think heightens this situation. Overall, I'm just stuck between a rock and a hard place and feel like no matter what I do, somebody will be upset with me. P.S. To provide context as to why this trip is so important, this family trip is a long-standing tradition and everyone looks forward to it and talks about it all year. Every year that we have gone, my mom raves about how much fun it is and then says to my fiancé, "Too bad you can't go, or something similar to that sentiment after bragging to him how much fun it is. Edit. Another APSECT of this that is weighing on me is my sister, 28, F. She has a hard time socially, even around family, and usually primarily depends on me on these trips for socializing. I know if I don't go she will be upset with me and have a hard time on the trip. I know that ultimately isn't my responsibility, but I do worry that it will affect her when she isn't part of this at all. Edit 2. I didn't mean to phrase choosing her over him as a bad thing. As a soon-to-be married couple I agree that is what I should do. I should have emphasized her viewpoint of that, which is, this is a situation where I am right and did no wrong and am a victim, but my daughter is still choosing her fiancé even though I am the victim. But also, I do think she would view me choosing him over her in general as a bad thing as well. Speak to your cousin who is also engaged and not married. Plan a couple's trip with them. Start a new tradition. I'd skip it. Rules clearly flexible, your mom just doesn't want to deal. He's basically family already 4 months out from the wedding. Her choosing, no drama, over basic respect says enough. Let her be mad. Seems like there is no winning here for you. If you go, your fiancé will be hurt. If you don't go, your mom will be upset. You should do what you feel is right for you. You are building a life with this man and have been for 4 years. How would you feel if the situation was reversed and your fiancé went? I wouldn't go. Plan a weekend with your soon-to-be hubby or your cousin and her fiancé. Why have you put up with your family's disrespect of your partner for so long? Take his side, put your foot down. Don't set a precedence going into marriage that your partner takes backseat to your extended family. Your partner is going to become your immediate family. Let your family know that under no uncertain terms, your partner will be going on this trip, or you will not, and you will understand where your family sits with their regard for your partner. This will be reflected in your wedding plans and how involved they will be in your new life moving forward. It seems like you're being a doormat to your mom and it's going to cost your relationship in the end. Your mother is a boat rocker and you're trying to placate her. Regardless of what she said, you can control whether or not you go. You just seem to think the aftermath is a worse consequence than your partner's feelings. Add in the other mistreatment, this will probably hurt them deeply. Here's a secret. If you want to have a healthy and happy marriage, you'll need to prioritize your partner over your controlling mother when she's being unreasonable like this. If you don't start standing up for yourself and your partner, she's going to make your lives miserable. You don't have to stir up drama. Just say you and your fiancé have other plans this year, but you hope they have fun. You're an adult and are allowed to decline invitations that don't work for you. Oh, and you should get some counseling. You're so used to being controlled and disrespected by your family that it feels normal to you. My wife, 37 female, inherited $2 million but won't help me, 38 male. I've been with my wife for about 13 years. Since the beginning I have been the breadwinner. I've been in real estate and she has always had a business that was up and down. I always took care of her bills and helped her with everything she and the kids needed. 2020-2023 in real estate was really good to me. I paid off all of her debt twice that she ran up. Over the last 2 years I've given her about $200,000. Not including buying her things, even though my business wasn't doing as well as previous years. This year I took some pretty big hits financially. Her grandmother recently passed away a month ago and left her close to $2 million in cash. She gave her father and brother some money even though her grandmother left them both out of her will and off everything as beneficiaries. I believe she did so because she lived with us and wanted what's best for the kids. This year I am struggling and about $150,000 in debt and close to bankruptcy. She won't help me at all. Should she help me? Am I being entitled? Man, I think you made a mistake at how you treated money in your marriage. You say you gave her money and paid her debt, but it doesn't sound like you thought of it as our money. It's kind of not surprising she's not sharing it with you. Perhaps there's some resentment. Also, unclear how you lost the money. I would see if you can talk her into getting a financial advisor and marriage counseling. Lol. You helped her with what she and the kids needed. Very generous. Sounds like you established an understanding of money that is yours and money that is hers in the marriage. Too bad you didn't establish a pattern of, the money is ours. It would hold you in good stead. ETA. I just focused above on what I think was your part in creating this situation, but I would be remiss if I didn't point out that also, your wife seems very ungenerous and unconcerned with your well-being. Can you think of any reason why she wouldn't help you? What was your conversation like? Did you ask her for the 150 and did you mention you had given her 200K, or did she just not offer to help you? Need more context here to understand the situation. Not at all. You just married the wrong one. She's not all in. Jesus, what did she spend 200K on in 2 years?